Alright YouTube, what's going on? It's Mesa back at it with some Destiny 2 news. Alright, we got a lot to talk about in this video. So GameInformer just put out their July issue. Now you either have to go buy the magazine or you could purchase it digitally, which I did tonight. It was I think $5.99 or something like that. You can't just view this for free, so I can't link it in the description. However, there is tons and tons of stuff in here. This is kind of like when I got flown out to Bungie to capture all the Rise of Iron stuff, and then we had an embargo for about a month, and then GameInformer came in and released all the information. So there's tons of stuff to go through. They talked to Luke Smith, they talked to Mark Noseworthy. So you know what, without further ado, without me babbling, let's just jump into, I'm going to try to go through the nuggets or the stuff that I feel is important or the stuff that we don't currently know about. So first off, let's dive into Dominus Ghaul. Now, who does he report to? Who is he? Does he report to the Emperor? Does he have a boss? Well, he does have a boss that they're calling the Consul. Let me read this set of quotes here from Luke Smith. Ghaul is a villain who feels passed by. Ever since he was just a little cabal runt, he was overlooked. This guy we call the Consul took him under his wing and convinced Ghaul that when the Traveler gifted light to humanity, the Traveler made the wrong choice. Now obviously Ghaul is reporting to someone, that's why they're calling it Consul, but he's not reporting to the Emperor. Ghaul took control of the Cabal by force in a military coup that sent the Emperor Callus into exile. But even with that stolen power, our villain feels scorned and passed over by something far greater. He's arrived in our system to show that humanity is weak. Ghaul's attack on the city is a show of force to the Traveler, as if to say, Traveler, those people that you picked are unworthy, and I'm going to show you what worthy means. Now the Vanguard, all three of them are reacting quite differently to the situation. So Zavala, he loses his sense of purpose. He's weakened. He's asking the question, without light, are we even Guardians? He's in a crisis. Ikora, she reacts totally different. She's furious. This power she used to identify with is gone, and she's angry. Now Cade, who is the goofy, merry prankster who is full of jokes, does the thing neither of the other two did. He goes out and tries to do something heroic, and it doesn't go super great. Now, from a player experience, from the story campaign, it's quite obvious, and it says it right here, our job, the player's job, focuses on reuniting these Guardian leaders and discovering what other secrets await them in the solar system. Now, we already knew that there is no grimoire on the website for Destiny 2 or the app or anything like that. But Mark Noseworthy says, but in no way is our intent to get rid of the deep lore in the game. We just want it in the game. Destinations are invested with greater world building through the injection of both voice characters and opportunities for narrative discovery. The result is an explorable landscape that must be played to be fully understood. So now let's talk about some NPCs. Now we've seen pictures of this sniper named Devrin K, and this character is going to be on the farm, which is our new social space in the European Dead Zone. So let me just read this verbatim. A new social space called the farm affords the opportunity to meet a sniper named Devrin K. Interacting with him shows off a slick new conversion interface that produces greater emotion and character animation potential. Now I'm wondering, is that kind of like Mass Effects, where when you talk to an NPC, you can go in like different directions in terms of asking questions? Each new location includes a character like Devrim, a quest giver that helps to tell the story of a locale and make each destination take on an increasing narrative weight. So the story is all going to be in the game, guys. No more grimoire, which I'm fine with because I never went to the grimoire to read it anyway, okay? I want to experience it in game. Now we also get to have some light shed on the whole adventures thing. Remember, they said we're going to go on these adventures. They're going to be narrated, maybe 15-20 minutes long. So let me read this verbatim. If a campaign mission is about finding out what happens next in a story, the adventures are about finding out more about the characters and locations in the world, Luke Smith says. I venture into the European Dead Zone. On some of these adventures, the story details remain closely guarded, but the tone is clear. These crafted experiences send me to distinct areas on the map and inevitably into a pitched battle, and new lore flows naturally through the experience. So I'm sold on it. I want to be told the story through the game. Next up, let's talk about those lost sectors. So we kind of know a little about this already. Lost sectors are basically like findable dungeons in the world with cool bosses at the end and a key that opens up a treasure chest. During my wandering, I spot several unusual icons scrawled on walls and objects, each one indicating that a lost sector is nearby. Then the GameInformer interviewer goes on to say, in Destiny 1, I might have found a well-hidden but tiny cave with a minor treasure chest inside. In Destiny 2, that cave entrance could lead to a large underground sprawl where I fight a horde of nested fallen before confronting their captain in single combat. And in between my discoveries, I could see public events pop up on my in-game map and know exactly when and where they will spawn, encouraging intentional grouping into high-octane fights. Newly reinvigorated public events, adventures, and lost sectors join old familiar activities like patrols, scannable objects, and collectible materials, all as emergent experiences that can be tackled without departing into orbits. Remember, we can go from destination to destination without actually having to go back to orbit. You can do it right in your menu and just make it seamlessly and not have to waste time. So we have it confirmed right here that when you go to the European Dead Zone, because it is the largest destination, there are 3 different landing zones you can choose from and not have to go back into orbit. Mark Noseworthy just chimes in here and says, we're going to all new worlds. You're not going to be returning to Mars. Titan is a moon of Saturn, dominated by an endless methane ocean with ancient archaeologies from humans' golden age slowly sinking into the depths. Titan now has an interesting juxtaposition of experiences. When you land, you're essentially on top of tanks and shipping containers floating on the ocean, and then pretty quickly you enter the archaeologies and drill deeper and deeper towards the center of the planet through these tight tunnels. That's where it gets really claustrophobic. Alternatively, you can head to Jupiter's moon of Io, the last place where the travelers set down prior to coming to Earth. Finally, you can visit the planetoid of Nessus, where the Vex have transformed the land from the inside out for their inscrutable purposes, and a lost Earth colony ship called Exodus Black that crashed hundreds of years earlier. No matter your choice of destination, the director, the solar map, and guide from which you choose your next engagement has been totally redesigned. Listen to this. The quest log and several related systems have been eliminated, and the director is streamlined to strip away the hard-to-decipher clog of icons. Luke Smith goes on to say, we want to make it clear to players what they could be doing every night. What are their options when they log in? It's able to guide you to different experiences. We think of this as unhiding the fun. Next up, they talk about all the weapon types. So the majority of the weapons, including submachine guns, pulse rifles, auto rifles, Scott rifles, hand cannons, and sidearms, can now appear in either the first 2 categories, which we knew already. Kinetic, that's just standard ammo. Then energy, which could be arc, solar, or void. Deadlier weapons, the new grenade launchers, sniper rifles, shotguns, rocket launchers, and fusion rifles. Heavy machine guns have been phased out, they say. Have moved into a 3rd slot called power weapons. Why no more heavy machine guns? Anyway, he says, we made this change for a ton of reasons. One of those reasons is to give players more flexibility with their arsenal. If someone loves hand cannons, they can run 2 of them. We also wanted to encourage more weapon switching, and when we wanted to get the one-hit kill sorted out in PvP, only power weapons and supers now provide a reliable way to take down an opposing guardian in a single shot. Next up, they talk about the subclasses, but nothing really new. They just kind of really want to emphasize that each class now has its own unique ability. Like the Titans, you can put down your little shield. The Warlocks, they can put down the Rift and stand in it and either gain health, well, heal themselves, or provide extra damage, and the Warlocks have the dodge. Now we get some confirmation on game modes that are coming back to PvP. So Luke Smith says PvP is sorted into 2 playlists now. Quick Play is the place where you're going to find more party games. He says Control, Clash, and Supremacy. Beer and peanuts is how we sometimes talk about it. I'm home from a long day and I just want to shoot and loot against other players. Meanwhile, competitive play has 2 modes. One we're not talking about right now, and the other is Countdown. These are objective modes. It requires a light dusting of cooperation, and it's more structured. I have Countdown gameplay all over my channel. I captured that when I went to the Destiny 2 reveal. Now, I covered this already, but let's just revisit again. So they say equally important, the UI and audio is organized to offer clearer messaging. Top of the screen is going to show each player subclass and the status of their super, as well as when a super is activated. Remember, also on your mini-map, right below it, they all have landmarks, right? So if you go to a certain place, it'll actually call out where they picked up power ammo. So it says collect power ammo, and a message clearly shows your name and what weapon type you just loaded for all players to see. Unique sounds distinguish ally and enemy super activations. The combined effect is one in which savvy players can better understand what's happening in any moment of the match and respond accordingly. Luke Smith goes on to say, we believe we've made a PvP offering in Destiny 2 that is more readable and watchable and more competitive. So I think streamers and PvP pros, Crucible hardcores, you guys are going to love 4v4s. Now, no talk of ranked play or anything like that, but let's be frank, guys. Look, the scrubs, average folks like me, I'm going to be in quick play all the time playing Control, Clash, and Supremacy. And the competitive folks, well, they'll be in the other 2 modes, and we know one is Countdown, and they're not talking about what the other one is just yet. Now, we get some more information regarding how the clan system is going to work, so I'm just going to read this verbatim here. On screen, over your character screen, is going to be a clan page. Noseworthy goes on to say, that's going to show you who is in your clan, but also what's the status of that player. You have a clan banner, you have a motto, there's progression and rewards for your clan. We're trying to slope the floor to get everybody to be part of a clan. Rather than making clans a place for only hardcore players, Bungie has adopted a system that echoes the factions of Destiny 1. Players pledge allegiance to a clan, and there's things you could do in the game that contribute to the clan's success, and everyone gets rewards for membership and engagement. Whether you're part of a dedicated raid team, a PvP lone wolf, or a casual story and strike player, your deeds and activities help your clan excel. Next up, they talk about guided games, and if you're not familiar, guided games is Bungie's answer to matchmaking. So you could choose to be a guide, or you could be a seeker. So a guide could be someone you're looking for a third for a nightfall, and a seeker could be someone that's in orbit and they choose seek and they're looking for someone to do the nightfall with. Same thing with trials and raids and stuff. And I believe everything you can see on screen, the guide can actually say what they're looking for, and people can match each other up and choose to either join or not join. It's a way to bring people together. Then if you meet someone from playing guided games, and obviously things like nightfalls, trials, and raids, it's quite nice to have communication, then you might end up joining their clan. That's pretty much it for all the stuff you might have not known. The end of the article just kind of finishes off with, well, hey, there's a lot of questions that Bungie has remained quiet on, such as, what is the new progression and investment experience? How will the new highly competitive trials mode work? In what ways will Bungie address the collection and vault space challenge that plagued its prior game? How will Bungie speak to and reward returning veteran players after 3 years of dedicated play? Are raids challenging? And will Destiny 2 avoid content droughts post-release? So that's it for the article, guys. I wish I could link it in the description. I have screenshots of everything, but I don't want to upload it. Guys, I probably could get flagged for that or something, whatever. I paid for it, I downloaded it, and you guys are getting a benefit from me reading all this stuff to you. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Hashtag made it to the end. And that's it, guys. So do me a favor, drop a like this video, only if you see fit. Follow me on the Twitter, @MesaSean. Check out my stream, usually on YouTube, and that's it. I am out of here like Vladimir.